Alright, this is the start of the 3D Greek temple personalized assignment, and you start out with the temple that we made in the 3D Greek temple assignment. I'm going to select the whole thing, and then just make sure that it is, okay, see it's all grouped together except for the sphere. So if you want the sphere to be moving with it, then you just go ahead and go to Edit and group it again. I'll just call this, temple with sphere. That way, if I want to move it, I can select it through this. Now you're going to need this open, but then you're going to open a program called Mudbox. And then you're just going to go ahead and choose Plane. And Mudbox is how we make our terrain. So you'll see there's a tab called Sculpt Tools. And you've got your size and the strength, so you can see that it kind of does, if I pull on it, creates lots of little texture, and the more I click and drag, the more. So I'm just kind of giving it a texture, and then I can use the grab tool to kind of raise it up more, create some mountains. The Alt Rotate does the same thing that it did in Maya, so you can use that to. So I'm just going to make a really quick terrain. You can spend more time on yours making it, different, special, however, you want to. I'm just going to kind of make it so that my Greek temple is in sort of a valley. And if I lower the size, it allows me to really pull up size and strength will make it so you can do like points. See, so if you feel like you want your mountains to have points on them. So you can go ahead and have fun with that. You'll see there's grab, there's pinch. I have to say that grab is probably the one I use the most. And you can experiment with some of these. You'll see, I can't even remember what foam does. Yeah, it just kind of gives it a different texture. So after you have kind of modeled it the way you want it to look, you go to the paint tools and you choose Paintbrush. And there's these stamps which work really well. Don't ever use material presets, just so you know. They don't work well with what we're doing. So if you hover over them, you can see. So there's one called grass. So maybe I'll use that one. And I can make it large, give it more strength. You can see there's this option to randomize things. And you need the paint layer, that's fine. Say okay. Oh, that's not usually, it's because I've got my color set to black. So it's doing the grass texture, but with black, which is not what I want. Whoops, back to Mudbox. So there's my grass. Unfortunately, because I've used my paintbrush is so big, you can see that the texture of the grass is coming in quite large. So it's not really great for scale. If you want your grass to have a small texture, unfortunately, you have to just paint it, You see how that's kind of got the smaller texture to it? So, not great. But I'm just going to do a really quick, kind of a sloppy job, to be honest. With my grass. And there are different ones that you can use for mountains and valleys. And maybe I'll make it a little bigger, but then lower the strength just to get the edges a little faded. So I hope that you will spend more time on yours really making it look good. Me, I'm just kind of trying to do a quick job so we can move on. There's that. There's the leaf one. Cliff, sure, sounds good. And now my cliff's set to green, so I need to switch it to a blackish color, black or gray. And I can up the strength again. So you'll just go through and paint things and make them look different ways. And you can switch because you'll see, there's some, interesting. Haven't used that one before. I'm going to lower the strength of it. maybe make these mountains a little different. And we'll do one last thing with my mountains. Alright, I'm not proud of this. It is a very quick job, so you take some more time making yours actually look really good. Once you're actually done though, you go ahead and you go up to File. Oops, because my mud box is smaller, the file's over here. File, Send to Maya. And I'm just going to send selected to current scene. Whoops, add selected to current scene. And right now it's just saying, well, nothing's selected, so do you want the whole thing? Okay, yes I do. Send meshes at current level. And it's just kind of telling me where it's putting it. I would want to go put it in the same folder as all my other stuff. So go to my M drive, media. So you go put this file with, and if I'd saved this first, it would have automatically gone there. But I'll just 3D modeling and Greek temple. And there's that. Okay. Choose that. Okay. So there is my very sloppy terrain. If it doesn't show up with any of the textures, just press 6 on your keyboard. And there it is. Now I can select my temple with sphere and then use W to move it up. Or possibly over. Kind of just depends on how it fits into your terrain. I just don't want it to be floating. Okay, so there's that. Now one of the requirements is that you have water. So actually I should have done this in my mud box, in fact, so I will go do that right now. If I take my sculpt tools and let's sculpt, give it higher strength. I'm actually going to go, whoops, no, I want to make kind of a dip. Well, that's not looking very good at all. Trying to remember the best way. There we go. Use the grab tool. So I'm kind of grabbing and pulling down. This is where I'm going to put a river in my model. I'm going to have a little river coming through the mountains. We'll see how that works. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and File, Send to Maya. Update current scene should work. Yep, there we go. Because you have to create some sort of a liquid. So the easiest way to create a liquid is to actually make a box and use the scale tool to scale my box. Well, let's W it up so I can see it. There it is. Okay. And I think I'll actually rotate that around. So I'm going to create this box and move it around so that it's... So you'll need to experiment with yours a little bit. Maybe widen it out, lengthen it out. And rotate it a little more. The idea is that this that I'm making, and I'm going to need to mess around with it a little more to make it work, but hopefully you get the idea that that's going to turn into my water. It's going to be kind of a dry stream, but I'll fix it later. So what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and assign a new material to it. I'll go ahead and just choose like a Lambert. And then in my color, I'm going to choose Ocean. Maybe actually I should just assign the ocean right away. So click on my box again. Oops. Okay, so assign new material, and sorry, just go straight to assigning the ocean shader. There we go. And it looks just like water. Now at this point, my box is pretty, it only has one plane, so in my channels, with my cube selected, which doesn't want to select, I can go to Polycube and just give it some divisions. So I'll give it division widths of 10, and that'll allow me to look at it from up here, select the faces. There's something wrong with mine. I'm sorry, guys. That is weird. I'll have to look into that because it's not letting me select my faces. So I'm sorry that I'm not able to show you a very good example of what this should look like. But if you render it, you can kind of see that water texture happening. So what you'll do is you'll just adjust yours so that there's at least a liquid in there somewhere. Okay? Now, so we've got the 3D. We need 2 changes in colors for your temple. So if you come to this, you need to change at least 2 colors, and you're welcome to do more than that. And I would just go ahead and assign a new material, make it a blend. This is blend 3. I'll call this Temple Base 2 because this is the second one I'm making. And here you could either switch the color, or you could actually go to this checkerboard and choose some of these different, you know, textures. There's one for marble. Try that again. Marble. There we go. And you can see it's a red marble, which I don't know why you'd want red marble. Doesn't make much sense to me. Black marble. And, you know, that's kind of a cool marble look. If you don't like it, you can change the vein width, the contrast. See, that's making it darker. You can make it lighter. You also have the 3D texture, which will, you know, you can just see if you mess around with these that it'll change. If I put in a 20, it just kind of changes the direction and the location. So 30, so it just moves my marble around. Scale, I could actually maybe lower, make it 2, see if I like that. So that makes it kind of a larger, spaced out. So you can mess around with that. Marble, there's your colors again. If it's too much, you could switch it to a gray. Actually, I kind of like that. So that's one color change. You could do the same thing to the whole temple and then just change the little elements. Just make sure you do 2 changes in color from your original. Okay, go back, double check. Okay, we've got a liquid, even if it's struggled. Physical sun and sky. Now, there's actually a setting called physical sun and sky, but because of some issues that have happened with this particular version of Maya, we're unable to use it. So we're just going to do kind of a cheap version. So you make a sphere, and then you scale it so it is huge, like bigger than your terrain. And then we're going to come to the rendering tab, and you'll see this Paintbrush 3D paint tool. And I'm getting pretty close to running out of time, so we'll just finish this video and I'll see you in part 2 for the rest of what to do with this.